Lyra stood alone again. She always stood in the same quiet corner at the far end of the academy grounds, where the silver grass moved slowly in the wind and the sky shined with 2 warm suns. Other alien students ran across the field, laughing, shouting, and training with their glowing practice weapons. But Lyra never joined them. She only watched from a distance, like she was standing behind an invisible wall that no one could cross. Everyone at the academy knew her face. Everyone knew her strange eyes, deep, glowing, and filled with something no one understood. And everyone knew one more thing. Lyra was dangerous, or at least that is what they believed. She never spoke much. She never smiled. And she never stayed close to anyone. She looked like a ghost girl who didn't belong to this world. Some students said her touch could burn. Some said she could hear your thoughts. Some even said she brought bad luck wherever she walked. But no one knew the truth. No one even tried to know it, except one person. A human boy who had just joined the academy. His name was Evan. He had arrived only 3 days ago, as part of a new exchange program between humans and alien kingdoms. While everyone warned him to stay away from Lyra, he simply listened quietly, nodded politely, and then ignored them. He wanted to understand her. Something about her stillness, her sadness, her distance, felt strangely familiar on this quiet afternoon. Evan noticed her again. She was standing on the edge of the field, her long silver hair covering half of her face. She looked calm, but there was a strange tension in her posture, as if she was waiting for something. Dangerous. Evan walked closer, slowly, carefully, not wanting to startle her. Most students kept a distance of at least 10 steps from her, but Evan kept walking until he was only 3 steps away. Lyra did not look at him. She kept staring at the sky. Evan followed her gaze. 2 suns, glowing softly. Nothing strange. So what was she watching? "Hey," he said gently. "Are you okay?" For a full moment, she didn't speak. The wind moved her hair, and the light caught her face. Her eyes glowed faintly, like they held a storm inside. Finally, she answered with a calm whisper, "You should not talk to me." Her voice sounded fragile yet strong, like something old and tired living inside a young girl. "Why?" Evan asked. "Because it is safer for you." He frowned. "Safer? From what?" This time, Lyra slowly turned her head toward him. Her face was expressionless, but her eyes carried a warning. "They are coming soon," she said. "And they are not here for me. They are here for you." Evan froze. "What do you mean? Who is coming?" Lyra didn't answer. She just looked back at the sky again. But something had changed. Her fingers tightened, her breathing grew sharp, and her eyes glowed brighter. Then suddenly, the academy alarm exploded across the sky. A deep, echoing siren shook the ground. Students panicked and scattered everywhere, running toward the safe building. Sparks of light shot into the air as emergency shields activated around the training grounds. Teachers shouted orders. Robotic guards rushed across the field, and the sky darkened as something heavy moved above the clouds. Evan looked up. A shadow, huge, shapeless, glowing red at the edges, hovered behind the twin suns like a silent beast waiting to strike. "What is that?" Evan whispered. Lyra spoke without fear. "Shadow hunters." The words felt cold. "You knew?" Evan asked, shocked. She nodded. "I felt them this morning." Another explosion of dark energy spread across the sky, shaking the academy walls. "Why didn't you tell anyone?" he shouted. Lyra looked at him with calm sadness. "Because they would blame me. They always do." She stepped forward slowly. The ground under her feet glowed softly, reacting to her presence. Evan's heart raced. Students were hiding, alarms blaring, guards preparing to fight, but Lyra stood like a silent statue facing the danger alone. "Come with me," he said, grabbing her wrist. "We have to go." But she pulled her hand away. "No, if I run, They will follow. If I stand here, they will come to me. And then they'll kill you, he said. Lyra shook her head. They don't want to kill me. They want to take me. Another burst of dark energy cracked the sky. Lightning flashed. The shadow creature moved closer, revealing glowing red eyes. Evan felt fear close around his chest, but Lyra didn't move at all. She was too calm, too prepared, like she had lived this moment before. Evan stepped in front of her, trying to shield her even though he had no weapon and no powers. "What are you doing?" she asked softly. "Trying to help," he said. Lyra stared at him for a long moment, confused, surprised, almost touched. "No one helps me," she whispered. "No one has ever tried." "Well," Evan said, voice shaking but brave, "I'm not like the others." Before she could respond, the ground vibrated violently. The shadow creature descended, screaming with a voice like tearing metal. Energy crackled around them. "Teachers!" shouted for Evan to run, but he didn't. The creature fired a blast of dark energy straight toward him. Lyra stepped forward fast, faster than any human eye could follow. A burst of white-blue light erupted from her hand and met the dark energy in midair. The explosion threw dust everywhere. Small stones flew, and the creature roared in anger. Evan stared at Lyra in shock. Her eyes now glowed bright blue. Her power was real. Her danger was real, but so was her pain. And for the first time, someone had seen both. Dust slowly settled around them as the echo of the explosion faded. The air carried the sharp smell of burnt energy. Students and teachers hid behind the shielded walls, staring in fear. No one dared to return to the field. No one, except Evan and the alien girl who had just saved his life. Lyra stood still, breathing softly, her glowing eyes locked on the giant shadow beast above. Its wings were made of smoke and dark fire. Every beat of those wings shook the ground. Red cracks spread across the sky like bleeding wounds. But Lyra didn't flinch. Evan watched. Really watched her for the first time. Her silver hair floated gently as if pulled by invisible currents. Her hands glowed like two small stars, and her face, no fear, only tired sadness. She looked like someone who expected this moment. "For a long, long time, Lyra," Evan whispered, not knowing what else to say. She didn't look at him. Her eyes followed every movement of the beast, like she was reading its mind. "You should go," she said quietly. Her voice trembled just a little, enough for Evan to hear the truth behind it. He stepped beside her. "I'm not going." Lyra closed her eyes for 1 second. Maybe she hoped he would listen. Maybe she wished he would listen. Because everyone always left her. Everyone always ran away, but Evan didn't. "Why?" she asked without looking at him. "Why won't you run?" "Because you didn't run from me," he said. For the first time, her eyes softened. But the moment vanished when the shadow creature shrieked again, shaking the trees and sending waves of dark energy through the air. Lyra lifted her hand. A soft blue shield formed around them, a bubble of glowing light. "You are not safe near me," she whispered. "They want me, and anyone close to me." "Then they'll have to fight me too," Evan said. She turned her head slightly toward him. A tiny spark of surprise flashed in her eyes, like she had never heard those words before. No one had ever stood with her. No one had ever chosen her, but Evan did. "Your life will be in danger," she warned. "It already is," he replied with a half smile. Pointing to the massive creature above, Lyra almost laughed. Almost, but she didn't know how to laugh anymore. The shadow beast folded its wings and began to descend, huge, silent, deadly. Its eyes burned bright red as it aimed directly at them. Lyra's blue shield cracked slightly. "They're stronger today," she murmured, more to herself than to him. Evan swallowed hard. His heart raced, but he stayed. "I'm here. Tell me what I can do." Lyra looked at him again, this time with real surprise. "No one ever asks me that," she whispered, but there was no time to reflect. The beast reached the ground landing with a force that shattered stones around them. Its giant claws dug into the earth, leaving deep smoking marks. Its voice was a low, hungry growl. The Academy sirens screamed louder, warning everyone to stay inside, but Evan stood outside. With her, Lyra stepped forward and extended her hand. The beast roared and fired a blast of dark fire toward them. Lyra didn't dodge. She didn't hide. She absorbed it. A glowing circle formed under her feet, spreading outward like a wave of blue light. The ground cracked. The beast stumbled backward in shock. "You can do that?" Evan shouted. Lyra didn't answer. Energy ran through her body like lightning. Her hair lifted, her eyes burned brighter, her hands glowed stronger. But Evan noticed something else. She was shaking. She was pushing herself too hard. After a few seconds, she stumbled. Evan immediately grabbed her arm to steady her. "Lyra, are you okay?" She breathed heavily. "I can hold them back." "But not for long." "Not alone," Evan said. She looked into his eyes. The field around them was chaos, dark flames, and broken stones. But in that small moment, everything felt still. Evan's voice was steady. "We fight together." Lyra studied him like he was something strange and unexpected. Humans are not supposed to be this brave," she said. Softly, he smiled. "Maybe I'm just stupid." Finally, Lyra gave the smallest smile. Soft, fragile, real. But the moment ended when the beast roared again. 3 more smaller shadows appeared behind it, crawling out of cracks in the ground, thin, fast, deadly. More hunters. More. Danger. Lyra stepped in front of Evan, raising both hands. Her blue energy flared up again. But Evan gently touched her shoulder. "You don't have to protect me alone. I'll help you." "You can't fight these creatures," she said urgently. "Maybe not like you," he admitted. "But I can think. I can distract them. I can do something." Lyra stared at him. Her eyes softened again. "You are strange," she whispered. "And you're not alone," he replied. Before she could speak, the 3 smaller hunters darted forward. Lyra pushed Evan behind a stone barrier and jumped forward, a blue arc of light spreading from her hand. She moved with sharp, precise grace, faster than any human could see. Evan watched, amazed. She wasn't dangerous because she wanted to be. She was dangerous because the universe forced her to be. In mid-battle, she shouted to Evan, "Do not move from there, no matter what happens." But Evan didn't listen for long. One of the smaller creatures slipped past her defense and rushed toward Evan. His heart stopped. He braced himself, but Lyra spun around instantly, sliding across the ground like a flash of light. She struck the creature with a burst of blue energy, blasting it away from him. She saved him again, and finally, something inside her broke. "I cannot lose you," she shouted. Evan froze. She realized what she said, but it was too late. The truth had escaped. Lyra, the girl who never let anyone near, the girl who carried danger everywhere, now feared losing the one person who refused to leave her side. The ground shook again. The main beast lowered its head, preparing a final attack. Evan ran toward Lyra. Lyra grabbed his arm. They stood side by side. The beast roared. The battlefield grew quiet for a moment. Too quiet that the wind froze. The dust hung in the air like it was afraid to fall. Even the twin suns dimmed slightly, as if the sky itself was holding its breath. Evan stood beside Lyra, both facing the massive shadow beast in front of them. The creature's red eyes glowed like burning coals. Its huge wings opened slowly, spreading darkness across the Academy ground. But something else moved behind them, soft, slow breathing. Lyra. She was trying to hide it, but Evan heard it. Her breath was uneven. Her hands trembled. Her light flickered. She was getting weaker. Evan whispered. Lyra, are you okay? She didn't answer. Her eyes stayed locked on the beast, but the glow inside them shook like a candle in a heavy wind. Lyra, he said again, stepping closer, you're hurting. Finally she spoke, but very softly. I told you, they are stronger today. And you're weaker today, he replied gently. Her jaw tightened. She didn't like hearing that. She didn't like anyone knowing she wasn't unbreakable, but she couldn't hide anymore. The beast roared again. The academy shields flickered as teachers struggled to keep them up. Students cried behind the walls. Robotic guards malfunctioned from the pressure dot in the middle of all this destruction. Lyra whispered something Evan didn't expect. Evan, I need to tell you something, he frowned. Tell me later. No, she said sharply. If I fall today, you must know. The words stopped him. She looked at him, really looked at him. And in her glowing eyes there was fear. Not fear of the beast. Not fear of dying. Fear of losing someone. Lyra, what are you talking about? Evan asked, but before she could answer, the ground exploded behind them. Another shadow creature crawled out, tall and thin like a twisted skeleton. Lyra instantly pushed Evan aside and blasted the creature back with a wave of blue light. The attack drained her even more. She sank to one knee, panting. Her hands dimmed. Her glow faded. Evan rushed to her side. Hey, stay with me. She shook her head weakly. I'm fine. No, you're not, Evan said, pulling her up by the arm. You can't keep doing this alone. Her voice cracked. I have always done this alone. And there it was, not power. Not danger. Loneliness, the kind so deep it becomes a part of you. But Evan didn't let go of her arm. Not anymore, he said. Lyra stared at him, confused, hopeful, scared all at once. But she didn't have time to respond. The giant beast suddenly lowered its head and spoke. A deep, echoing voice filled the field. Child of the lost crown, your time has come. The words vibrated like a storm inside Lyra. She froze. Evan turned to her. Lost crown? What does that mean? Lyra didn't answer. The beast continued. Your power belongs to us. Your bloodline ends today. Evan looked at Lyra again. Bloodline? Lyra, what is he talking about? Her hands shook. Her eyes filled with dread. Evan, she whispered, you should leave now. I'm not going anywhere. You must. No, tell me what's happening. She swallowed, her voice breaking. I am not like the others at this academy. I know that, Evan said gently. No, not the way you think. She took a deep breath. I am the last daughter of the Aelin royal family. Evan blinked. Royalty? She nodded. My family controlled energy, not magic, not technology, but pure life energy. The shadow hunters hunted us for centuries. One by one, they killed my parents, my brothers, my people. Her voice trembled. And I am the last one left. Evan's heart pounded. You're a princess, he whispered. She shook her head. Not anymore. A princess has a home. A princess has people. I have nothing. The beast roared again. You cannot run from your destiny, last heir. You belong to the shadows. Evan stepped in front of her. She belongs nowhere near you. The beast stared at him. Human, step aside before you die. But Evan didn't move. He clenched his fists even. Though he had no weapon, no powers, nothing to fight with, Lyra grabbed his arm. Please, she whispered. Go. If they take me, they will leave you alone. Evan pulled her closer, angry, hurt, stubborn. No, I'm not leaving you. They're here because of me too. Her eyes widened. What? Evan took a shaky breath. When you saved me the first time, they changed targets. I saw it. They looked at me like I mattered. Lyra shook her head. No, Evan. It is my blood they want. My power, and they won't get it, he said firmly. Because I'm here. Lyra felt something she hadn't felt in years. Someone choosing her. Not because of duty. Not because of fear. Because they cared. She whispered. Why? Why do you keep standing with me? Evan looked into her shaking eyes. Because you've been standing alone for too long. Her breath caught. She wanted to speak. She wanted to thank him. She wanted to hold his hand. But the ground shook violently. The giant beast spread its wings. Dark lightning shot into the sky. The smaller beast circled them. Lyra gripped Evan's hand tight, desperate. Evan, if something happens to me, it won't, he said. If it does, she continued, voice breaking, listen to me. My power, it is not only mine. She touched his chest gently. It can live inside another. It can choose another. Evan froze. Lyra, what are you saying? Her eyes glowed bright blue again. I think my power chose you. A shock of cold energy ran through him. The sky flashed. The beasts roared. Lyra's glow flared violently, and Evan felt something faint but real deep inside his chest. A spark. Drop of her light. The beast screamed. Heir of two worlds, you will not escape. Evan's eyes widened. Lyra realized something she hadn't noticed before. She wasn't the only one glowing. Evan's skin shimmered faint blue. Her power was already inside him. Her destiny. Tied to his dot, the part ends with Evan and Lyra standing side by side, united, glowing, terrified, and unstoppable. A moment. Time felt weightless. Lyra and Evan stood together in the center of the broken academy grounds, the air trembling with dark energy. The giant shadow beast towered above them, and the smaller hunters circled like hungry wolves. But something had changed. It wasn't just Lyra glowing anymore. Evan's skin shimmered faint blue, like a quiet flame under his skin. A soft pulse of light beat from his chest, matching Lyra's own energy. Even he didn't understand it. His hands shook. His breath caught in his throat. But the light didn't stop. Lyra stared at him with wide, shocked eyes. Evan, your body should not be able to hold this. My body doesn't feel like it's holding anything, he said. Half confused, half terrified. It's like it's waking up. Lyra's voice softened to a whisper. No, it's like my power chose you. Before he could reply, the giant beast stomped forward. The ground cracked. Dust flew. Its wings spread, dark and endless, and its voice tore through the air. Heir of Aelin, your lineage will end today, and the human will fall with you. Lyra stepped front, shaking but strong. You cannot take me, she said, her voice trembling. With both fear and defiance, the beast snarled. We already have. 3 hunters leapt toward them at once. Evan reacted on instinct, raising his hand. A flash of blue light exploded from his palm. He and Lyra both froze. What was that? Evan whispered, staring at his glowing hand. Lyra rushed to him. No, Evan, don't. Use it. I didn't try to, he said quickly. It just happened. The 3 hunters landed, each slamming into the ground, stunned by the shockwave created by the human boy who had never used energy in his life. The beast narrowed its red eyes. Impossible. Lyra grabbed Evan's arm tightly. Listen to me, she said. My power is not like human strength. It is not like alien energy. It changes people. It binds to hearts, not bodies. Evan tried to breathe steadily, but the glow inside him grew stronger. Okay, he said, forcing a weak smile. Good news is I have a heart. She didn't laugh. She touched his chest again over the glowing area. This is dangerous. Evan, my power kills anyone who cannot carry its weight. Then why am I alive? He asked. Lyra looked down, her voice shaking. Because you didn't choose the power. She looked into his eyes. You chose me. Before he could respond, the beast roared again, furious. Shadow spikes shot from its wings, sharp enough to cut through steel. Lyra's instincts activated. She grabbed Evan and created a shield around them. The spikes hit the barrier, cracking it instantly. The force made Lyra stumble. Blood ran from her nose. "Lyra!" Evan shouted. Holding her dot, she wiped the blood away. "I'm fine." "You're not." "I said I'm fine." Her voice cracked. The barrier shattered completely. They were exposed again. The beast marched closer. Each step like thunder. Students hiding behind the walls began to scream. Teachers shouted for reinforcements. Robots tried to reboot themselves, but no one could fight the hunters. Only Lyra could. Only she ever had. Evan looked around at the broken academy, the terrified faces, the shaking ground, the crushing shadow. Then he looked at Lyra. She stood in front of him again, protecting him. Even though she could barely stand, he stepped in front of her this time. Lyra grabbed his shoulder. "What are you doing?" "Your power is hurting you," he said. "Maybe I can use a little of it." "No," she shouted. "Your body will burn. Do you understand? Burn. Humans cannot." "Then I'll burn," Evan said simply. "But I'm not letting them touch you." Lyra froze. No one had ever spoken like that to her. No one had ever valued her life over their own. A small tear escaped her eye, but the beast didn't wait. It reached out its clawed hand and slammed it toward Evan. Evan raised both hands. A massive burst of blue energy exploded from him, forming a wall of light that stopped the beast's attack completely. The academy went silent. Even Lyra gasped. "Evan, you shouldn't be able to do that." He looked at his glowing hands. "Trust me, I have no idea how I'm doing this." The beast roared in rage and prepared a second strike stronger. Deadlier. It launched a wave of black fire that tore the ground apart as it came toward them. Lyra grabbed Evan's hand. "Focus," she shouted. "Your heartbeat, listen to it." He tried. Ba-dumb. Ba-dum. The glow inside his chest followed the rhythm. Lyra pressed her forehead against his for a moment. "Desperate. Your heartbeat is the key. My power reacts to emotion, not control." "You mean fear?" "No," she whispered. "Your heart protects what you care for." He looked into her trembling eyes. "I care for you." Her breath caught. The black fire slammed into them, and both of them screamed as their powers connected. Blue and black energy collided. Winds roared. Fire exploded. The ground split open beneath them. Their hands stayed locked together. Lyra's hair whipped around wildly. Evan's eyes glowed bright blue. The explosion threw dust and light into the sky. And when the energy faded, both were still standing. Barely. Evan's legs shook. His vision blurred. The glow inside him dimmed for a moment. Lyra grabbed him before he fell. "Evan? Evan, look at me." He tried to speak but couldn't. She held his face with both hands. "You cannot fall. Do you hear me? You cannot fall. You are not ready. Your body is not ready." He forced a breath. "I'm fine." "You are not fine," she shouted, panic growing in her voice. "If you push again, the power will crush your heart." Evan gave her a tired smile. "Guess I need a strong heart then." Lyra shook her head and hugged him tight, but the beast lifted itself again, fury burning in its eyes. "This ends now." Lyra pulled away from Evan. Her glow flared bright. Her eyes turned fierce. She stood between Evan and the beast. The wind stopped. The world held its breath. "You will not touch him," she said. The beast snarled. "You are weak." Lyra took a shaky step forward. "No," she whispered. "I am not weak. Not when someone finally chose me." She raised her hands. Light exploded. The entire field glowed blue. Evan reached toward her. "Lyra, wait." But she didn't wait. She used everything, and the sky itself cracked open. The sky did not just glow. It shattered. A giant ring of blue-white light exploded above the academy as Lyra released her full power. Cracks of energy crawled through the air like glowing lightning veins. Wind howled across the field, throwing dust, stones, and debris into a swirling storm. Everyone inside the academy buildings pressed against the windows, terrified. Teachers shouted at students to stay back. Robots malfunctioned and collapsed. Even the shadow hunters hesitated for a moment, something they had never done before. Because this was not normal alien energy, this was something older, deeper, forbidden, the power of the lost royal bloodline. Evan watched in stunned silence as Lyra floated several inches above the ground. Her hair rose like silver fire around her face, her hands glowed like stars, and her eyes, those bright, lonely eyes, had become two burning spheres of blue. She didn't look weak anymore. She didn't look scared. She looked like a goddess. Pulled from forgotten history. But Evan felt something else, to a sharp pain in his chest. Lyra's energy pulled at his own, trying to connect again. His knees buckled. His heartbeat went wild. Lyra felt it immediately. Even through the storm, she turned her head toward him. Her voice echoed with power and fear mixed together. "Get back, my energy will crush you." He tried to move. Tried to take one step back, but he couldn't. Her power was calling to him. "Lyra, I can't," he gasped. Clutching his chest, she screamed, "Nitrogen monoxide. Do not let it in. Fight it." But the connection between them had grown too strong, because her power had already chosen him. Before she could say anything more, the giant shadow beast stomped the ground, shaking the academy. Its wings spread wide. A storm of black fire swirled. Around it, the royal engine is awakened. The beast's voice boomed like thunder. Students inside the academy screamed. Evan stared at Lyra. "Royal engine?" She did not answer. She couldn't. Her power surged again, twice as strong. She raised her hands. Energy burst from her palms in a wide arc of glowing blue light. The smaller hunters charged, but were incinerated instantly. The ground cracked under her. The air shook with every pulse she released. But something was wrong. Evan realized it before. She did. Every time her power grew stronger, so did the light inside his chest. He fell to one knee. His vision dimmed and brightened uncontrollably. "Lyra, stop, I can't," she heard him. Her power flickered. Her eyes widened with horror. "No," she whispered. "No, no, no." She lowered her arms, trying to stop the flow, but it was too late. Her energy and Evan's spark were now linked like two halves of the same heart, and if she used too much, it would tear him apart. The giant beast noticed her hesitation. "You are weak." It lunged forward, claws extended. Lyra turned sharply and unleashed a powerful blast to block the attack, but she held back. She didn't dare use her full strength. The blast hit the beast's chest. It stumbled, but didn't fall. Lyra fell to one knee, gasping. Evan dragged himself toward her, his vision blurry. "Lyra, listen to me. Don't stop because of me. I must." She shouted. "If you stop, it will kill everyone," he said. She shook her head violently. "No. If I continue, the power will rip your heart apart." "Then so be it," Evan whispered, breathing hard. "I won't let you die alone." Her eyes filled with tears, not from weakness, but from the fear of losing someone she finally cared about. Before she could answer, the beast struck again. A massive black claw swung toward them like a falling mountain. Evan dove forward and grabbed Lyra, pulling her away from the hit. The claw smashed into the ground, exploding the earth into a crater. Lyra landed hard. Evan fell beside her. Pain shot through both of them. She coughed blood. He did too. Their powers were now hurting them both. "Evan," she whispered, shaking violently. "I don't want you to die, not because of me." He forced himself upright. "I'm alive because of you. If I die, it's still because of you. And that's okay." Her breath hitched, a sound between a cry and a gasp. No one had ever spoken to her like that. No one had ever seen her as a reason to live. Instead of something to fear, the beast charged again. This time its wings unleashed a storm of shadow. Blades, dozens of deadly shards aimed directly at them. Lyra's eyes widened. She had no time to think. She grabbed Evan's shoulders and pushed all her power into a shield around him. Evan watched in shock as she used every ounce of strength to protect him. The shadow blades hit. Boom. Boom. Pact shattered a layer of Lyra's shield. Her nose bled. Her vision blurred. Her skin cracked with glowing lines. Evan shouted, "Lyra, stop! Stop! You're dying!" She didn't stop. Not this time. Not when it mattered. She turned her head and smiled softly at him, weak, broken, but real. For the first time. She whispered, tears falling down her glowing cheeks. "Someone needs me. Not my power, not my blood. Me." Evan felt his heart break. The final shadow blade struck the shield. The barrier shattered completely. Lyra flew backward, thrown across the ground like a broken comet. Evan screamed her name. "Lyra!" She slid across the dirt, her glow nearly gone. She tried to stand but collapsed again, her arms shaking, her breathing thin. The beast walked forward, towering over her. "The last air is mine." Evan ran toward her, but the spark inside him exploded. A blast of blue-white light burst from his chest, throwing him to the ground. He couldn't move. He couldn't breathe. He could only watch as the giant claw reached for the girl who had spent her whole life alone. Lyra looked up weakly at the beast. No fear. Only sadness. She whispered Evan's name. The beast lifted its claw. Evan screamed again, voice breaking. "Lyra, no!" The claw came down, and the part ends with a soundless flash of blue light. The world turned silent, completely silent. Not the silence of peace, but the silence right before something terrible happens. The beast's giant claw slashed downward toward Lyra, glowing with dark fire. The ground cracked open beneath its weight. Dust spiraled into the air. The academy walls trembled, but just before the claw hit her, boom! A massive flash of blue light exploded from the center of the battlefield, brighter than anything seen before. The shockwave was so strong that even the giant beast stumbled backward. Students screamed inside the academy. Teachers shielded their faces. Robots short-circuited and collapsed. Evan lay on the ground, chest glowing like a burning sun. His arms shook. His breath came in painful gasps. But the spark inside him, Lyra's power, was no longer small. It had erupted. He tried to stand, but his body felt like it was breaking from the inside. The light inside him pulsed violently, trying to escape. "Lyra," he whispered, unable to move. He watched helplessly as the blue flash faded and revealed Lyra lying unconscious on the ground. Her body didn't glow anymore. Her silver hair fell lifelessly around her face. Her hands were cold and pale. Evan's heart stopped. "No." He dragged himself across the ground. "Lyra, please. Wake up." He reached her, pulled her into his arms, and felt her chest. No glow. No energy. Just weak, fading breath. The beast growled deeply. "Path completed. The air is drained." Evan looked up, eyes burning with fury. "What did you do to her?" The beast stepped forward. "Her power is gone. It is surrendering." "To you." Evan froze. "What?" The beast's voice shook the air. Two hearts connected. Two energies merged. The royal light has chosen a new vessel. Evan's chest glowed violently again, so bright it burned through his shirt. He felt pain, pressure, heat, cold, electricity. It was overwhelming. "I don't want this," Evan shouted. "Give it back to her." The beast laughed, a deep, cruel sound. "The power chooses its bearer. The girl has lost her claim." Evan looked down at Lyra. Her lashes didn't move. Her breathing was shallow. Her skin was turning cold, Terror washed through him. No, she didn't lose anything. She didn't ask for this. He held her tightly. She saved me. She protected everyone. She deserves to live. The beast lifted one claw. Move, human. She must die. Evan stood up. He didn't think. He didn't plan. He just moved. He stepped between Lyra and the monster. His entire body glowed, like molten blue glass, a human with the power of an alien royal heir. The beast laughed again. You cannot control that light. It will destroy you. I don't care, Evan said quietly, but you're not touching her. The beast swung its claw. Evan raised his arm instinctively. Crack! A blue barrier formed around him, pure energy, stronger than anything Lyra ever created. The claw slammed into it and was thrown backward. The beast roared in disbelief. Impossible! You are human! Evan didn't respond. He didn't understand what he had become. He only understood one thing. Lyra needed him. He turned back and knelt beside her, whispering, Lyra, can you hear me? Please. Wake up. I'm here. Her fingers twitched faintly, barely. But they did. The beast's voice shook the ground again. Give her to me. The royal heir must die. Evan stood slowly, lifting Lyra gently in his arms. She already died once, he said softly, when everyone left her alone. His eyes glowed brighter, and I'm not letting it happen again. The beast charged. Evan closed his eyes. He felt Lyra's heartbeat, weak but present against his chest. He felt her power inside him, pulsing in rhythm with his own. He felt fear, pain, love, and a deep burning determination. His voice came out steady. I choose her. The world responded. A massive blast of light erupted from him, far bigger than anything he had unleashed before. The shockwave tore through the battlefield. Stones shattered, trees fell. The academy shield flickered, then strengthened. The beast was thrown backward, crashing into the far wall. Evan stumbled, nearly collapsing. His vision blurred. Blood ran from his nose. His chest burned like fire. He held Lyra tighter. I can't do this alone, Lyra. Please. Wake up. No answer. The beast rose again, wounded, furious. You are not the heir. Evan wiped the blood from his lips, then stopped chasing her because of it. He said. The beast roared. The heir is not the girl. The heir is you. Evan froze. What? The beast stepped forward. When she saved you the first time. The royal energy sensed your heart, your loyalty, your courage, your willingness to die for another. Evan looked down at Lyra's still body. But she's the last royal. She's the last Aelin. She was. Until she gave everything to protect you. Evan felt something break inside his chest. Lyra didn't lose her power. She gave it. A way. To him. To save him. To keep him alive. Tears filled his eyes. And in that moment, he understood everything. She wasn't dangerous. She wasn't cursed. She wasn't a weapon. She was a girl who had been forced to stand alone her entire life. A girl who never had anyone choose her. A girl who finally cared enough to sacrifice everything. For him. He looked up at the beast. No, Evan said quietly. She is still the heir. The beast snarled, confused. Evan took a shaky breath. Because the heir isn't decided by bloodline. He lifted Lyra gently. It's decided by choice, courage, heart. The beast screamed. You are weak, human. Evan looked at Lyra's face. No, he whispered. I'm strong because of her. The beast lunged forward. Evan closed his eyes and embraced Lyra. And then, Lyra's fingers moved. Slowly. Weakly. Her voice, thin and fragile, whispered near Evan's ear. Evan, don't let go. His eyes widened. Lyra? Before he could respond, her entire body lit up again. Not bright, not violent, soft, a gentle blue glow, like a heartbeat returning. The beast screamed. No, This is not possible. Lyra opened her eyes. Barely, but she opened them. Evan. I'm here. What's happening? He asked, voice shaking. Lyra's weak smile returned. My power, she touched his glowing chest, is coming back to me. How? Evan whispered. Her answer made the sky tremble. Because I don't want to leave you. The light between them began to merge, two halves of one energy reconnecting. The beast roared, Stop them! Stop the bond! Evan held Lyra even closer. Lyra, are you strong enough? She nodded. I am, because of you. Their glows intertwined, blue spirals forming patterns in the air. The beast charged. The wind roared. The academy shook. Evan and Lyra stood together for the first time as equals. And the part ends with the explosion of a new, shared power. The sky exploded in light. Not cold light. Not violent light. A living light, warm, alive, breathing. It spread from Evan and Lyra like waves across an ocean, rolling outward and filling the ruined battlefield with a soft blue glow. The wind stilled. The shadows shrank away. Even the giant beast hesitated, confused and fearful for the first time, because this was not Lyra's power. Not Evan's power. It was their power. Two hearts. One bond. A connection stronger than bloodline, older than destiny. Born from choice, born from the moment one human boy stepped toward an alien girl who stood alone. Lyra lifted her head slowly, her silver hair floating behind her like mist. Her eyes glowed, but not with the sharp, painful light from before. This glow was calm, pure, balanced. Evan stood beside her, breathing hard but steady, his chest shimmering with the same blue aura. The spark inside him was no longer wild, no longer burning him. It moved gently, in harmony with hers. The beast roared, spreading its giant wings across the battlefield. The bond is forbidden. Lyra stepped forward, voice steady. No, the bond is ours. Evan placed a hand on her shoulder. And we're ending this together. The beast screamed, a sound like metal tearing, like mountains collapsing. Shadows pooled under it, dark fire swirling in its claws. But Lyra didn't flinch. Not anymore. She lifted her hand. Evan lifted his. Their energies connected like two streams, forming a river. A giant circle of blue light formed beneath their feet. The academy ground cracked with glowing symbols neither of them understood, but somehow they felt right. Like the symbols recognized both of them. Lyra whispered, Evan, do you trust me? With my life, he said. Her eyes softened. Then, hold nothing back. The beast lunged forward, faster than ever. Shadows stretched out like blades, black fire burning around its claws. The ground shook. The sky dimmed. But Evan and Lyra did not move away. They moved together. Evan stepped left. Lyra mirrored. Lyra raised both hands. Evan focused his energy. Their lights intertwined, forming a single spear of pure blue radiance. When the beast's claw came crashing toward them, Lyra and Evan thrust their combined energy forward. Boom! A shockwave tore across the battlefield, blasting the beast backward. Its wings shattered into smoke. Red energy bled from its chest. For the first time, the monster staggered. The students inside the academy shouted. The teachers stared in disbelief. The hunters paused, trembling, because two beings, one human, one alien, had done what an entire academy, an entire army, could not. Lyra fell to one knee from the force. Evan grabbed her quickly. Are you okay? He asked. She nodded. Yes, but it's not over. The beast rose again, wounded but furious. You have broken the order of the Shadow Realm. No human may hold royal light. Evan stepped forward, eyes glowing fiercely. Then the Shadow Realm needs new rules. The beast roared and launched its final attack. A giant storm of black fire erupted from its chest, stronger than anything before. It spread like a wave that could destroy the entire academy. Lyra's eyes widened. Evan. This attack, it will kill everyone. Evan grabbed her hand tightly. Then we stop it. Lyra shook her head, fear slipping through her voice. This is too much. If we try to stop this, the power will destroy your heart. Evan squeezed her hand. If my heart breaks while protecting you, then it breaks with honor. The tears in her eyes glowed like stars. Evan, don't say that, please. He leaned closer, forehead touching hers. I'll live if you live. So let's survive this together. She shuddered, whispering, together. The storm of black fire came crashing toward them. Evan and Lyra raised their joined hands. Their energy spiraled upward, forming a massive shield of bright blue light. The shield expanded, stronger and thicker than anything Lyra had ever made alone. For a moment, the two forces collided, black and blue, shadow versus light. Destruction versus hope. The ground cracked beneath their feet. The wind roared like a hurricane. The academy walls shook violently. Lyra gritted her teeth. Her arms trembled. Evan, I can't hold it. Yes, you can, Evan said, stepping closer behind her, supporting her arms. Because I'm here. Their hearts synced. Ba-dum. Ba-dum. Their powers merged stronger. The blue shield expanded suddenly, and the black fire began to break. Lyra's eyes widened. It's working. But Evan's chest glowed dangerously bright. The power was pushing him to his limit. She turned her head sharply. Evan, stop, you'll die. He shook his head. No, I'm not stopping until you're safe. Her voice broke. You're more important to me than any destiny. I don't want to lose you. He whispered in her ear. You won't. And then they pushed together one last time. The black fire shattered like glass. The shockwave ripped through the battlefield and slammed into the beast. The monster roared in agony. Its body cracked with blue light. Its wings fell apart. Its chest burst open, and it finally collapsed into dust. The battlefield fell silent. The storm faded. The darkness vanished. The academy shields lowered. Evan fell to his knees, chest burning. Lyra caught him before he hit the ground. Evan, stay with me. He coughed, breathing hard. His glow flickered dangerously. Did we win? He whispered. She nodded quickly, tears falling. Yes, we won. It's over. He smiled weakly. Then, I'm fine. But Lyra wasn't convinced. She held his face with trembling hands. Don't lie to me. Your body took too much power. Your heart. He placed his hand over hers. My heart is strong because you're holding it. She broke into soft, relieved tears and pulled him into a tight embrace. Students slowly stepped out of the academy. Teachers stared in awe. Robots rebooted and began scanning the battlefield, but no one spoke. Everyone simply watched the two figures, the human boy glowing faintly and the alien girl holding him like he was her entire world. Lyra pulled back slightly, her face close to his. Evan, she whispered, voice shaking with emotion. Promise me. Promise you won't leave me. He smiled gently. Lyra, I didn't just save your life. You saved mine too. There's nowhere I'd rather be. Her breath caught, for the first time. In her life, her lonely heart felt full. She rested her forehead against his and whispered, I'm not alone anymore. He wrapped his arms around her. You never will be. Their lights intertwined softly, no explosion, no storm. Just a gentle glow like two souls learning how to share one heartbeat. The academy watched silently as the bond between a human and the last royal heir became something unbreakable. And their story, whispered across galaxies, began here with a lonely alien girl and the human who gave her a reason to smile.